All right. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Gaming Dad Fujo Podcast. This is episode number 19, being recorded on March 20th, 2024. I am Fujosevich, your host, former professional Hearthstone player, currently working as an analytical chemist in the pharmaceutical industry. This is a place where we get to talk about all the things that we used to talk about on our streams. And instead of interrupting all of our great conversations with gameplay, now I'll be interrupting myself with new topics. And on this episode, we will be talking about, at the very least, Star Wars Battlefront Collection fiasco, the James Webb Space Telescope, Bad Batch's final season, episodes 1, 2, and 3. We have to space it out. I'm way too excited. And for some reason, WoW has a Battle Royale called Plunderstorm. And we're going to talk about so many more topics. In addition to those, let's get started. He's got no time to play video games. He's the gaming dad, Fujo. Nailed it. All right, and as we are jumping into it, first of all, of course, if you're listening, wherever you are listening, watching, however you're doing all of this, please hit that like button, the subscribe button, the follow, leave a comment, let me know how you're doing, let me know what you're gaming, what's going on with all of that stuff like we always used to do on all the streams and all the videos. Now, 2 editor's notes. Let's be really quick about these. Episode 18, it has been reported, has been brought to my attention. Thank you for the messages. I love you. I may have misspoken when I talked about Mario Day, March 10th. I may have mixed up the numbers when I spelled it out. That's fine. This is, like I said, this is just the continuation of the stream. We do this basically effectively like it was a stream live. There's one take, there's no real editing. So things like this happen and things like that slip. However, interesting note as well, since that episode, Nintendo put a little video out on their YouTube. This was actually on March 12th, so just a few days after Mario Day, obviously, saying that in 2024, having a Nintendo Switch makes every day Mario Day. So you know what? I was correct. There we go. We're going to move on after that one. What else happened? And you know what? I agree. I might play some Mario Maker 2 after this. Second point that has been brought to my attention. Thank you for these great comments, messages. Keep them coming. Episode 17. I also misspoke. I made a reference to hearing about all the Megan Fox comments in Love is Blind. And I tried to make some joke about, going and washing my car. False. Megan Fox's character in the original Transformers movie was not washing cars. She was fixing them. She was a highly skilled, trained mechanic. I apologize for my teenage brain having funny memory. And that's all for the quick editor's notes. Keep them coming. I appreciate it. Let's get right into now the biggest love story since we last spoke together. Of course, we all know what I'm talking about. Massive ratings being talked about all over the world. Dominic Mysterio, WWE veteran, marrying his high school sweetheart. Absolutely fantastic. And the best part is, Damian Priest, Austin Theory were 2 of his groomsmen, which is really cool when you see people work friends being real life friends in his groomsmen bridal party. That's fantastic. Dominic is so fantastic. With Damian Priest's help, he was able to get himself booed at his own wedding speech, which is absolutely incredible because everyone shows up for you on your wedding day, and just absolute legend to get himself booed at his own wedding, which is fantastic while he's giving his own speech. Really, really fantastic. A little story. Apparently they met when Dom was accidentally put into Spanish class back in high school, but he's fluent. He spoke Spanish. So he made some comment that, the universe has brought them together and stuff, because he obviously should not have been in some introductory Spanish class. So that's really cool. And it was also really cool to see, the fact that this story, someone meets in high school, or a couple meet in high school, they're able to grow together emotionally and develop. Very unlike the emotional growth and development that we've seen in Love is Blind Season 6. Let's talk about this. Final episode. And the finale. I know, I feel like Love is Blind Season 6 is already all done. We're going to go through it really quickly. That's fine. Love is Blind final episode. We were pretty wrong on we were okay on our predictions. We predicted that Jimmy would not get married, and he backed out right at the beginning of the episode. They were left on a cliffhanger, and we thought, this is a fake cliffhanger. Nope. Breakup right after his roller coasters, which was an interesting choice, but the guy loves his roller coasters. So there was that. Which was interesting. And then this led up to the AD and Clay wedding. And as it was happening, they both seemed really in love. And then there was this really weird thing where AD said yes and Clay said no. I predicted it would be the other way around, but I still predicted they would not get married. So there's that. At that point, I was really hoping AD did not take him back. Spoilers from the reunion, did not. Good. It was there was this. Okay, so there was that's what happened. But the weirdest thing to me was at one point AD is crying, and then for some reason they cut this like slow motion montage of Clay walking with this sad music, and then as you're having like this horrible thing that takes up like 85% of the episode, you have this super hard transition to uplifting music as Amy rolls up to the wedding venue to get married to Johnny, and it is the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest transition I've ever seen. It made me, as you know, the horrible heartbreak that I felt horrible for AD, and then just this weird transition to Amy being so happy, and then they both said yes, of course. That was no surprise. Johnny's dad, super cool, great mustache, great energy. But I gotta call out Nick Lachey. I'm gonna call you out on one thing. First of all, rough editing all around on this on Amy and Johnny. I don't know what happened there. Second of all, what's going? I get it that, you know, the controversy draws, you know, clicks and gets eyes and stuff. They said yes, they loved each other. Show some of it. It just, Nick, this is on you. I'm blaming 100% on you, Mr. Lachey. Fix it. Come on the podcast. You know when and where. And we can talk it through. My consultation fees, very, very reasonable, $250,000 per season, US. What else happened? Yeah, it's really strange. The reunion. Let's just get into the reunion. They gave us some interesting stats. 9 out of the 11 couples that have married are still together, but then there are 6 seasons, and you go 6 seasons times 5 couples is 30 people, so 11 out of 30. So. Which becomes 9 out of 30 couples. Not the greatest stats, but that's fine. Jeremy's with Sarah Ann. They had a whole bunch of aggressive chatting about their GPS story. I really didn't like the idea of having the past former cast members, but then it actually kind of was great because we got to see everyone's like really awkward reactions, which was a lot of fun. Sarah Ann kept getting called out and stuff. Trevor was just this awkward, horrible thing. Trevor just had this horrible awkwardness when he showed up. He's like, "Can I just leave?" And eventually they're like, "Yeah, you can just leave." And he just like shuffles off the stage. It was uncomfortable. Clay was going through his he has a speech pattern. I can't quite put my finger what's going on. It's so fast. It's so quick. He's always trying to fill in the dead space whenever he's having a conversation. I don't know what's going on. But again, like I said, AD not with Clay. Thumbs up on that. Johnny and Amy, again, almost nearly ignored on the finale because they're just, you two are happy. Love it. Next, drama, please. The only thing, one note, marriage is so hard. Keeps getting brought up by a lot of the couples. I don't feel that way, and that's fine. Everyone's got a different experience. What else happened that was interesting? Yes, there was a direct question to Johnny about the condoms thing. He didn't really answer it. They were just like, well, we had to explain a lot of things to Johnny. He didn't know about that whole like part of the world, which is just really, really strange. Maybe they were just, I don't, there's no way to speculate. It was a non-answer to it. You know what? They're happy. I'm happy for them. That's all there is to it. Why are we going to worry about speculating at this point, right? Jimmy, Chelsea, they were such a huge part of the whole season, right? And the Jessica drama, and Jessica now has 14 other Netflix shows while being the greatest mom ever as a single parent. That's. And here's the thing. Let me address that real quick. That was sarcasm, first of all. But at the same time, like, people can give her a hard time, like, oh, why are you going on these shows? Why are you trying to like do this, Instagram fame? Like she's trying, and oh, why are you going on a second show? Is this? Here's the thing. I think it's fair to say she's an attractive young lady. And using this Instagram, Netflix, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of fame, she's probably going to be able to cash in pretty hard and help her daughter, and then hopefully explain to her daughter why some of these things were done and all that. As long as Perfect Match can stay tasteful and not get too funny. That's just, I wanted to say that on that topic because I know it got brought up a lot, and I'm like, well, there is the other side where you can say, like, look, this is the weird world that we're living in with social media being so everywhere. That, okay, kind of makes sense. That's fine. Jimmy and Chelsea, they were skimmed over. They didn't get asked about their current relationship, if they're friends. They talk. Very strange. they addressed this secret and how nobody was happy about that it get brought up, and it was really, really weird. It was just a strange, I don't know if there was talks ahead of time what's going on, but it was that was a weird one. Brittany and Kenneth got talked about, obviously got called out on the phone. It was for work. It was, not reacting to the breakup. Here's the thing, overall I think it was a fantastic reunion. They definitely held people accountable for seemingly some people a bit trying to take advantage of the show to gain that internet fame. People calling out, so what I mean, I feel like that way they definitely help people accountable for some of their actions. They bring the receipts. That's the big phrase. That's what the kids are saying, at least. Bring the receipts. So that was interesting. I thought it was fun. And let's move from love to things that we don't love in our next topic. Corporate greed. We talk about this all the time. We know these terrifying issues going on with Boeing, right? This is a horrible example. It's an engineering company, gets bought out, merges, and now it's run by accountants and business people. And so the priority goes from making the best absolute product to maximizing shareholder value. And that's what it is. And clearly at the expense of quality testing. It's already become a case study at the Harvard Business School. And so this is like, this is obviously a little bit more of a real world, real impact than the things that we normally talk about. But, you go from one failed business to another, and we always talk about these big AAA games that get released, and they always have these big issues. Oh my goodness, that just popped off my mic. Guess what? Not editing it out. That's how we do. It's basically the live stream. We wouldn't edit that out. We talk about these big AAA games that put all this money into trying to also have battle passes, because Fortnite did it, and Fortnite makes $14 trillion every 3 months, right? So you need to try and do the exact same thing. You try to have microtransactions on every mobile game, and while also making this big AAA game that has huge overhead costs to produce. And the latest one, Skull and Bones, currently doing worse than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which we talked about recently. Skull and Bones was advertised as a quadruple A game, even better than a AAA game. And instead of just releasing like a Black Flag sequel, they created this. They took all the good things and removed it. Like the fighting between pirate ships, kind of removed it. The story, kind of removed it. Treasure hunting, removed it. Burning, building pirate islands to build up after you collect all this treasure, kind of removed that. It's just, it's again these companies hoping that they're going to find this like next niche. But again, Fortnite, it was successful because it had this cool base game. It was interesting. It was fast paced. The building was an interesting mechanic. Third person shooter with the ability to build. And so that's why then putting the battle pass worked to monetize it. Not build a battle pass and then hope you can have something to go. So you have to, it's this whole thing like respect the gamers, not the shareholders. Because if you make a good game, people will buy it, and then your shareholders will be very happy because you will sell lots of product and lots of funny hats and skins and whatever else there is on your game. All the extras that if you feel the need, instead of just making a good game, you feel the need to fill it with. So there's that going on. And let's move on to another current and failed game. Star Wars Battlefront Collection has been released with massive server issues upon day one. Apparently, what happened, they had 3 servers, which each one of them had a maximum of 64 players each for North American servers. That definitely wouldn't work for a popular game like Star Wars Battlefront that people were very excited to have back and ported. And the company Aspire is responsible for this. The horrible lag, the high pings, the disconnects, all of this. And they already made a statement. We don't need to read the whole thing, but it's already been made fun of because it kind of seems like a copy-paste from their previous apologies that they've had to make in the past about these things. Again, we've talked about this so many times, and this is the wildest one that we've talked about so far. This is a 20-year-old game that has become worse with getting an update. This is not like a massive AAA game like what we just talked about, where they went about things the wrong way. They tried to milk as much as they can. This is just really, really disappointing. What else happened? Oh, the story just got reported that Aspire, it's really looking like they used some code from a modder because the original Battlefront games are still running, the originals, and people have been modding them because people like to do that as fun hobbies for these games that they love. We talk about mods and all the hacks, all this stuff all the time, right? And it looks like Aspire stole some of that code. And now it looks like they've lied about it because initially they said, we won't take any mod or code. We're going to do all of our own updates and stuff. So they've turned a $35 modded game from 20 years ago, and it's not working anymore. People who are playing offline on their couch are generally pretty happy. Even they're not quite happy because it used to have 4-player split screen, and now on modern systems you can only do 2, which is just ridiculous. And again, you're cashing in on nostalgia with these updates and all this. We talk about classic WoW all the time. We talked about the modded Mario 64. These passion projects and nostalgia that people who grew up in that era will love. We've talked about there's all the Pokemon Nuzlocke, all that stuff that people are still into. I've streamed Final Fantasy 1 randomizers. That's from the NES, right? Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. I'm still on the Discord, actually. I'm still on the Discord group because I'm a huge fan of that stuff. Not that I have time for it, but I still like following along. And again, none of those games that I'm talking about, they don't have quote unquote good graphics, but they're fun, they're fast, they're responsive, they build up an audience because they were interesting. And it's just wild. And actually just today, they have announced there's gonna be a patch to fix. Aspire's put out a patch. They're going to address a lot of these things and help fix the game. But again, ridiculous that a 20-year-old game where modded code was likely stolen, that they need to be doing a week 1 patch. It's sad. It's disappointing. Get better, gaming companies. We see that there is so much great gaming out there, but not this time. All right, let's move from a disappointing Star Wars story to an incredibly sad one. Bad Batch Season 3. We're going to talk episodes 1, 2, and 3. Full spoilers. Full spoiler alert for anything Bad Batch related stories. Because we always have to give a spoiler warning, right? We know we're going to do that. There were definitely massive tears in the Fujo household. Little baby Fujo has been asking. We watched Bad Batch Season 1 and 2 as a whole Fujo clan together, and after a while, Season 2 ended, and then, we got to watch something else, right? And then, little baby Fujo says, but I want to watch Omega. And I want to watch Omega too, but we're all out. We're going to go back. I guess we could have gone back. We try to do different. If the TV's going to be on, put on something new, right? I want to watch Omega. And then you know what? Disney Plus. Season 3 comes out fantastic. And what happens? They do a recap of the first couple seasons. And of course, the recap ends with, but when have we ever been good at following orders? And the waterworks start. And then Omega! So, good, Omega, episode 1. Talking about sad. This is a super sad episode. And again, this is fantastic. Bad Batch is so good. Omega is effectively in prison at Dr. Hemlock's lab, right? Nala Se's there, wakes up, goes to sleep, goes about her chores, and it's just this it's a slow mundane is a fantastic word. It's just repetitive over and over and over, and you feel the despair, and then obviously you see the aging, the time jump, and all that stuff because Omega's been there so long, and her hair's it's a fantastic episode. Episode 2, Hunter and Wrecker are out on the search. They get some bad intel. They end up on another planet, which the interesting thing about this, they meet these 3 child clones, Deke, Mox, and Stack, and it's been confirmed they're part of the squad of cadets who you see leaving Camino in Season 1 during the evacuation. It's cool, Star Wars has this thing where they're really good at tying everything together. Like, how that little comment was it from 1978 where you fought in the Clone Wars? Yeah. Everything now is all about the Clone Wars. So yeah, the Star Wars is really good about tying things together. So that was really cool. Obviously, they got bad intel. They end up on the wrong planet, and they figure it out. Really cool. That was a cool classic, Bad Batch, action-y, drama type of suspense type of episode. Loved it. Episode 3, we're back with Omega. And Omega, guess who's coming to dinner? It's the Emperor. Nala Se says, Omega, you gotta get out of here. Been just saving Omega. They've been doing all these blood samples. They've been looking for an M count. I'm assuming they're never going to say midichlorian, but we all pretty much know it's midichlorians they're looking for some clones who can handle some midichlorian something for the Emperor. We finally get confirmed that it is Project Necromancer that Dr. Hemlock has been working on. We know then later in the Imperial Remnants, in the future after the fall of the Empire, that Commandant Hux has been working on. it's just so basically what happens. Omega and Crosshair she gets Crosshair. And Alice says, "Oh, use my data pad, use my iPad, go get it on out of here." They escape out the kennels. It's really cool action scene where Crosshair asks Omega, "Did they teach you all? Did they teach you like Plan 72 or whatever it was?" And Omega's like, "Yeah, they made me memorize." And Crosshair, "Yeah, of course." And they use this cool deception trick to get, and they escape. It's fantastic. It's very cool. It's very sweet. It's also a kind of a sweet moment between them two, kind of bonding there, because Omega always had this hope that Crosshair could be saved. And they escape off the planet. Episode ends. We're gonna keep going through this until the series ends, season and therefore series. Super excited. And let's kind of switch gears here. Interesting gaming fact of the day. Super Mario 64's launch is closer in time to Neil Armstrong landing on the moon than it is today. You're welcome. I feel a lot older knowing that fact as well. And speaking of space, we got a science article to go through. We haven't gone through a science article in a while. So in the past couple weeks, there's an article published in the Astrophysical Journal Letters that challenges our basic understanding of the universe. So what happens here? The universe. The James Webb Space Telescope was, it was launched back December 25th, 2021, 7:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No big deal, right? It has confirmed a discrepancy in the measurement of the expansion rate of the universe, which is known as Hubble tension, because the Hubble telescope originally, I believe, helped shed some light telescopes on that. That's a good word pun. So it's really interesting. There's a lot of scientific debate on what's going on, like what's happening. How much are we going to get into this? Because I definitely took some notes, but I'm like, how much are we going to actually talk about the details? Okay, so at the super high level, I believe these measurements now have shown that the universe appears to be expanding at different speeds depending on the location, which kind of changes a lot of things, which is potentially that's the really highest level. That's a very low detail, but that's the biggest thing. Different locations are different speed, which is a huge deal, because we thought, again, a constant, universal constant. In science, there's a lot of constants, that sort of thing, and this kind of changes that. Originally, so this has been worked on for a long time now. They were thought that there might be measurement errors, things like that. But now Hubble and James Webb's telescope have been working together to confirm. So there's super high confidence in these results in this publication. So this is challenging a lot of our understanding with the universe. Can go all the way back, Big Bang Theory, challenge that. And this is really cool, because this is something that's definitely going to be a major story in the science, physics, particle, everything to do with space and physics measurements that's coming out. So it's a really cool story. It's a really, like, this is happening right now. Just got published. Like I said, we're definitely going to follow this one along anytime there's a significant update. And this is very cool sciencey topic that I just love. And speaking about things that we love, and we've already mentioned some failed relationships, all of these things raining down around us. Let's talk about the Rainmaker himself, Okada. Wrestling. That's a transition to a wrestling topic. Okada signed with AEW. I think a lot of people were hoping WWE, because I think that was a smooth science article to wrestling transition as anyone has ever made. I think a lot of people wanted Okada to come to WWE just because it would be a little. Again, we talked about Okada. He's kind of at the top of New Japan Wrestling right now. I guess was, since he's left now. But I think it would have been really cool just to have him come to WWE. And then there's a lot of matchups that would never ever happen unless someone, obviously signs and comes over. Went to AEW. Apparently it's a 3-year deal, a lot of money, from a bunch of the however much you want to believe some of these rumors and stuff. But I think it makes more sense. AEW is going to have a much more flexible schedule. His family still in Japan, can easily go back and forth. It's still really cool because the North American audience is going to get exposed to him in his super cool wrestling and his super cool everything he does around the whole world of wrestling. So that's really cool. We talked about the Rock and Cody stuff a bunch. We're gonna kind of skim over it. Rock's been swearing a lot on social media. That's, I don't know. He gets to swear on social media. That's cool. Good for him. I don't know. After a while, like initially, if you have like one or two swears, it's like, oh, that really means a lot. But if you're just swearing constantly, it kind of, to me, it makes it feel like it means a little less. And that's fine. Let's go ahead and end on a couple faster paced gaming topics. Ooh, Apex Legends Tournament. This is actually kind of an interesting and slightly, gaming scary type of thing. Large Apex Legends Tournament. It's a really cool, super fast-paced FPS game. People love, it's a Battle Royale. What we talked about, there's going to be more Battle Royale talk in a minute. Don't worry. And it looks like there were an aimbot and hacks added to the PCs of some really major streamers during their competitions. There's speculation that there's an exploit in the, funny enough, the easy anti-cheat software that runs in the source engine that Apex Legends is built on. So there was a hacker, an account that's very well known to proudly do these things in the chat, and was saying, hey, I'm going to upload these aimbots and all these hacks and stuff live in a tournament, which will then obviously get them banned because how dare you use these cheats in a tournament. And it's actually kind of like, Easy Anti-Cheat actually just came out yesterday. It was on the 19th, said there is no vulnerability within their software. This is definitely a story that's going to continue to evolve because it seems like something happened mid-tournament, especially when there's, like I said, there was someone in the chats who was claiming that who apparently has done this sort of thing before and claiming, hey, I'm about to do it right now. And then boom, it happens right now. So where there's smoke, there's often fire. So this is really, really interesting. I don't know, just don't play any EA games. Pretty easy enough for me to do. I don't know the last time I've played an EA game. Probably NHL 96 on the Super Nintendo. So I don't think I have no, I must have played something EA since then. There must have been something on the GameCube. Probably that's about the last time I played an EA. I don't know the last time I played an EA game. But I don't know, stay away from some of their online games because they use this anti-cheat software and everything. And if there is an exploit, people will be horrible. So definitely follow up. Definitely, check out this story if you're into the EA whole thing, Apex Legends. I'm sure it's gonna get patched real quick. And we're gonna transition from one battle royale to another one. Plunderstorm, massive question mark. WoW has decided to get into battle royales. Like they were super popular and starting, I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. This has definitely been talked about ever since. I know I've seen online discussions, maybe been part of some of them, ever since PUBG and Fortnite got popular. And Plunderstorm works the same. It's going to be a separate mode, separate from your main characters, where you just start as a pirate. I think you can pick the race. I don't know. I'm assuming you can. You have to. And I'm sure if it gets popular, they're going to monetize like the same way. Get some skins, get some all this stuff. Of course, you start as a pirate. You fly in on a parrot. You're flying to the Arathi Highlands, so it's a known zone and area and all that. And then you get a quest, and you can get your Plunderstorm loot. What is it called? It's called Plunder. What a surprise! It's pirate based. And you pick up spells and talents, and there's no auto attack, so you just pick up again, just like in Fortnite, you run around and pick up weapons. PUBG, you pick up weapons, all this stuff. You just mix and match whatever abilities you're able to pick up, and you get your plunder, and you're able to upgrade things. There's no fall damage. Everyone has double jump. They're claiming the matches will last 5 to 8 minutes, kind of cool. And then of course there is like a renown, quote unquote renown track. So as you earn plunder between games, you'll earn stuff for your actual WoW account characters, which is kind of cool. And you get this plunder by defeating monsters, other players. There's quests again that you can do, and obviously winning a match, being the last one alive, you'll obviously get a bunch more there. It actually makes me wonder if I have enough money on my Battle.net account, because I used to have some currency on there. I wonder if I'd have enough to fire up WoW for a little. All you need is a WoW subscription. You don't need any of the expansions. Again, it's separate from all the characters, so you just need a WoW subscription. So it's something I might look into, but again, there's no way I'm getting back into that. We've barely had time to play any of the Switch. I've gotten 2? No, I've got 3. I've got 3 of the Tears of the Kingdom temples finished now. I gotta go I got one more to do and then a million quests that I'll never get done because the game could take forever. And let's go. Last big topic, talking gaming dad and my my lack of time. What's the big things we love to do is mobile gaming. We talk about Monster Hunter Go. We'll call it Monster Hunter now. Fine, that's the real name. I'm at a good point. I can fight most. Every 6-star monster I can take down. That's fine. It's interesting, but again, same thing. Pokemon Go, the coolest events in Pokemon Go happen on the weekends. I don't have time to do stuff on the weekends. I need, I like I said, there's a group at work. We do some raids every once in a while. If there's a cool raid, we can go walk over. Luckily, we can see a gym from our work. But one of the biggest games, up and coming biggest games on mobile right now is Monopoly Go. It's Monopoly, but also not really. And it's on the go, but again, not really. So apparently the devs have spent more in marketing for Monopoly Go than was spent on the development of The Last of Us 2 monster game. Can't wait for Last of Us Season 2 to come back out. Monopoly Go is reported already $2 billion in revenue. And that was $500 million on advertising. That's $1.5 billion profit. And it's not even a game. It's barely anything. It's an absolutely idle clicking game. There's an energy system with all of the classic psychological. It's full of tricks. There's big graphics. You get explosions when things happen. There's no gameplay. It's just every once in a while you'll get a mini game. And you have to quote unquote attack. And all you do is click and then an animation plays. And then sometimes you'll get a mini game and you get a scratch off lottery ticket. And sometimes that gives you more stuff. It's 100% just dopamine simulator. At least in the games that, Monster Hunter now, there's gameplay. Pokemon Go, there's gameplay. This isn't a game. I don't know when people will learn. This is very disappointing. And again, it's free. So how can you complain about free things? Well, a little exploitative. I don't know what it is. I've heard people talk about it. I know it just kind of seems like it's literally nothing. It's not Monopoly. You're not actually playing Monopoly. You're just doing these weird run around the board and have the screen blow up every once in a while. It's disappointing. But it's super popular. So at least there's that. All right, and that is going to end it for today's, I think, personally, fantastic episode. Thanks for coming along on the ride. If you made it this far, hit that like button, leave a comment, give us the 5 out of 5 stars. Send us a message. Let us know how you're doing. Love the feedback. Keep it coming. I think we're starting to pick up steam. We're going every other Friday for now until I just completely run out of time and have to work every single night after work. Like I said, what are we going to do? We're going to continue with Bad Batch. The final season. We have to finish talking about Avatar Season 1. I ran out of time. We had to push that. There's going to be a million more cool gaming things we're going to follow up on. And that's all for today. Stay safe out there, everyone. Be good to each other, and we will talk to you sometime very, very soon. Bye-bye.